Next up is blue, black, and mid. Again, looking just accrue tons of value with 2-for-1 or better creatures. Try and set up some incidental damage through cards like Siege Zombie, and then just get decayed zombies that can kind of pose a threat to opponents, either by keeping them from attacking, knowing that the crackback could be large with the zombies, or just, finishing the opponent with the big attack. Key players, probably the strongest cards in the deck. At your top end, you have your Diagraph Horde, Organ Hoarder, or Revenge of the Drowned. Again, all commons, and then a Static Awakener starting off common. Key uncommons, obviously, Scop Wrangler is going to be huge, tapping down opponents' creatures to buy you time. Either be pinging them out end of turn or set up a large attack with your decayed zombie tokens and other creatures. You can get a Morbid Opportunist, also very solid. Decayed zombies are going to be dying, so you might even be able to send those in to turn into cards, or you're just going to be killing opponents' creatures or having your own creatures die just incidentally. And there is some removal. Again, this is a set where you want, if you're going to be playing removal, you only probably want a few pieces. You want them to be lower cost, because if opponents are getting 2-for-1 creatures like Organ Hoarders, A-Bombs, you don't want to be spending a lot of mana to kill those creatures when they've already generated their value. A lot of times you want to be putting in your own threats that are generating value and tussling that way. We do have some interaction, with the Eaten Alives, Midnight Hunt, Foul Play. All useful. Defenestrate's fine, but maybe doesn't play quite as well on this one, just because oftentimes you can either force them to make a trade with the card that you might need to Defenestrate for, or if they have a flyer, they may be able to fly over and either be tapping on your stuff or killing your stuff or just racing you. Obviously, Flip Switch is huge if you can establish a threat. Maybe it's an Awakener, Siege Zombie, Beta Gangler. So they have to play into it, and then you just counter it, get a Decayed Zombie that you can either use for tapping with a Siege Zombie or Wrangler, or send in to get a card with more Opportunist, or just wait, hold back until you do an attack with it. So it's about during value, trying to get some tempo if you can. Startle's another big all-star. It's doing so much. It's negating a creature's attack. Maybe it gives you a favorable block, or makes their block not favorable, so you can kill a creature. You get a Decayed Zombie, and you draw a card. Just a phenomenal card, given the cost, just 1 and a blue. So you're looking at interaction on the spells, and then only a few of your creatures are not 2-for-1s, and it's really, Siege Zombie and Scop Wrangler, you're tapping to accrue amazing value, and then your Blaze Scob to try and make almost all your creatures, get larger and deal damage. It's, again, another deck where you only have a few uncommons, really, which just makes it so strong in the format. You don't have to have a more Opportunist, but it's very nice. Same with Scop Wrangler, Blaze Scob. Those are your 3 uncommon creatures. And then, only really Foul Play, which is pretty interchangeable with Eaten Alive or Midnight Hunt, Midnight Ambush. So it's a very common-driven deck, which makes it very draftable. Even if there's, another 1 or potentially even 2 blue-black drafters at the table. So very strong. Again, you want to try and be able to curve out. If you can drop Awakener first, that's great. But if not, 2 drop into maybe an A-Bomb or Flip the Switch. If you can, try and get an Organ Hoarder out on turn 4, Hoard on 5. It's probably a scoop from them or close to it at that point. It's huge value. So that's Blue Black Midnight Hunt.